Hello friends, today in this tutorial I will be showing you that how to make a Electron desktop kind of an application, and basically we will be using the MySQL database to insert the records, to display all the records which are present inside the table, to specifically delete a record and to specifically update a record. So we will be performing all the four operations that you can see on your screen right here. So basically guys, this will be a simple CRUD kind of an application. Here we will be using the Electron desktop framework to build out this awesome little desktop applications inside your Node.js application, and we will be using MySQL database at the backend side. You will see I have a simple form here, a simple menu as well. This is a simple desktop application, and obviously you will see if I show you the table here, already two records are available inside this table. So this is the fields here: name of the product, description, and the price. So already two records are present. This is the name of the product, which is sample product. Description, this is the second product. You will see that price is also there, $12 and $14. So let's suppose if I click the delete button from here, you will see this record will be deleted. So now if you refresh your database, only one record will be present here. You will now see that record is deleted, and you can even edit a current record as well by clicking the edit button. So the details will be copied here. You can change the detail here, change the title, also change the price as well, and change the description, and click on the save button. You will now see, yeah, we are also using some kind of animation guys. So we are using animate.css for the animation that you see right here. So this is our simple HTML form guys. Here you can create as many products as you want. Click on save. So you will also get a nice little notification here in the taskbar that Electron MySQL new product saved successfully. So this is a notification which is there inside your desktop application. You can create, let's suppose, another product here. Click on save. Now you can see that you can create as many products as you want guys. Totally depends upon you. You can also see the scroll bar here. You can now see. So this will be the application guys we will be building in this tutorial. So from this tutorial you will be getting to know that how to integrate the MySQL database with the Electron framework, which is a awesome little tool to build out desktop applications inside your Node.js. So Electron.js, if you don't know guys, basically it's a simple framework for building desktop applications with your web technology such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So it is used to build cross-platform desktop applications. So you can run this on Windows, Linux, Mac, any operating system. So it's completely cross-platform, and you can even earn earn money as well by just creating premium desktop applications as well. So this is a framework we will be using. So let me now start from scratch. So if you want to read the blog post guys, instead of, as well as watch the video as well, I have given the link in the description of this video. So this is the blog post I have given. Each step-by-step instruction is given alongside with all the source code that I have used in this tutorial to build out this CRUD kind of an application. So simply the link is given in the description of this video. So basically let me also give the link here also. So get the full source code right here. So in the live chat you can get the code here. So after this guys, basically we will open the projects directory, and simply I will make a new directory here which is Electron CRUD, and I will cd into this. So basically guys, you can see it is a empty directory. Let me initialize the package.json file. So this will create the empty package.json file for you. You will now see. Now we need to install the dependency guys. So first of all we need to install the dev dependency of Electron. Electron is the dependency which we will be using, the framework which we will be using. So you can see that guys, we are installing. So you can see that guys, we have installed this dev dependency which is called as Electron. So you can see that we have installed this Electron dependency guys. So now we need to install this, make the database here. So for making the database guys, it's very easy here. So inside this, first of all, you can see already I have created this table. So basically I need to delete this table here inside this database. So this is the database we have created, Electron.db, and we have a table called as product here. Already we are inserting some information here which contains these 4 fields out there: ID, name, description, price. So right here guys, first of all let me drop this table. So we can simply drop the entire database. So we will write drop database followed by the database name, which is Electron.db. So if you execute this query guys, so simply what we will simply say here, if you click go here, you will now see your database is deleted. So now we need to create a brand new database guys. Go to the SQL tab here, click on new, go to the SQL tab. So here we will write the actual SQL query guys. Basically in order to create a new database, we will use the create command here. So create database followed by the database name. So in this case guys, we will create the Electron.db, which will be the name of the database, and then we will use this database guys. So we will use this Electron.db, and then we will create a table inside this database which would be called as product, and which will contain these 4 columns guys. First it will be the ID, which will be an integer, and it will not be null, it will not be a null value, and here we will be auto incremented by default. So every time you insert a record, it will contain a value. So let's suppose you have inserted 1 record, so it will have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we don't need to manually insert the value, it will auto increment. Also it will be the primary key of the table. So primary key, put a comma, and the second field we will be having is the name of the product. So this will be the varchar, and here we need to say 100, and this will be not null. Put a comma here, and then we will have a description. So this will also be a variable character here. So the length here will be 255 here, and the last field will be the price of the product here. So this will be a simple decimal here. So this will be 7,3, and this will also be a not null field. And now you can see we have created the SQL command here. So we can simply execute this SQL command to create the actual table here. So you can run this SQL command here, click on go. So it has created the database, and also it has created the table as well. So you will see on the left hand side the database is created, which is Electron.db, and inside this we have a single table which is a product table. So if you click the structure of the table, we have 4 columns inside it: ID, name, description, and price. So here we will be storing all the information inside this table. So after this, just go to your Node.js application. So right here inside this, in the root directory here, we need to create a separate file for the connection code here. So simply create a database.js file here. So now we need to install some dependencies inside our Node.js project. So we have installed this one dependency, which is the Electron framework. So inside your command line, we need to install some more dependencies. First of all, we just need to write this command npm I MySQL2, and then we also need to install promise MySQL and Electron reload. So these are the 3 dependencies which are required here. The first 2 dependencies will be the actual MySQL database dependencies. So it's a client library for Node.js. So with the help of these, we will be making first of all the connection to the database, and then we need to insert the values. So right here inside this file, we need to first of all import this dependency which we have installed it. So we need to use the required statement here, and then we will need to write here promise MySQL, and then we need to make the connection variable here. So here we will use MySQL.createConnection method. Inside this we will pass the object here. So this object will contain 4 properties. First will be the localhost property. Then we will have the username. The default username will be root. Then we have the password. Password will be left empty. And then we have the database name. So already we have created this database. You will see this name is Electron.js. So simply you need to put this value right here. So after you create this connection, we just need to create a brand new function here which will be get connection. Inside this we will simply return this connection, and now we just need to export this method. So module exports, and here we will export this method here which will be called as get connection. So that's all. Just you need to close this file here, and now you need to again create a second file which will be index.js. And now we just need to create a sample window of inside our Electron application. For this we need to require this main file that we will create later on. But before that, in order to create a sample window, we can simply extract the app module from the base library of Electron. And then we will require this database file, guys, that we have created right here early on. Also we need to require this Electron reload dependency we have installed, and then we will say the actual root directory here. And then we need to set these 2 properties, guys, which is app.allow renderer process reuse. So this property needs to be set to true, and the second property is app when ready. So when the app is ready, we need to display this window. So this will return a promise. So inside this you need to pass this function we will create, which is create window. So this function will be imported from a file. So here we will be declaring main.js. So basically here we will be defining a simple function which will be able to create a window. So this will have a width and height. So for creating the window we need to require a package which will be browser window, which will be available from the root library of Electron. After this, just declare a window variable right here, and this function we will create, guys, which is function create window. So function create window, you can call this any name, and then inside the window we will create a new browser window. So inside these we will pass the width of the window. You can set any width. Let's suppose I set 800, height to be, let's suppose, 600, and let's suppose the third option, which is you need to pass this option, which is node integration to true. So this simply means that we are using node modules inside our Electron desktop application. So these 3 options are required for creating a new window. And after this we need to show something in the desktop application. So we will load the content from the source directory UI index.html. So right here inside the source directory, just make a source directory here, and again you need to make another directory UI. So inside this you need to make a index.html file. Just write something on this. Let me put a heading here, simple heading. This is a heading. So we have this file, guys, we are loading this inside this right here, and simply for now we just need to export this method here, module exports. We will export this method create window. So now we can include this right here, this file at the very top. So we can extract the method which is create window from the file. We have the file we have defined here, main. So at this moment of time you can run your application. So now to run this application you will go to your command line, and simply you need to execute this command, which is npm start. So this will start your Electron application. So it will give you this error whenever you are doing it for the very first time. You will see missing script start. So you need to go to your package.json file to know how to fix this error. You need to add the start script here. So right here you will say start, and then here you need to say Electron dash. So just add this start script in the script section. So just put a comma here and add your start script. So again, if you go to your, just type here npm start. So this will start your Electron application, and you will see this is your window is showing here, simple window. So whenever you are using any sort of desktop application, you see some kind of a window. So this is our test window, and we are loading this index.html file here. So this is outputting this heading here, which is, this is a heading. Later on we will change it to the user interface. So now a sample window file is loading. So now after this we need to define all the functions which will be required for inserting the product, updating the product, deleting the product, and rendering out all the products which are available inside the database. So after this we need to, inside your main.js file, inside your root directory here, inside main.js, we have already created the connection here inside this database.js. We are exporting this method here, which is get connection. So right here we just need to import this. So at the very top we will simply say here const, and here we just need to require here this file which is database. From this file we need to get the method which is get connection. So after this, now we will be creating or a new product here. So creating a new product. For this we will be defining another method here which will be create product, and this will be a async function, and this will be taking the actual product object inside as an argument here. And we need to wrap all this code inside a try catch block, so that if any sort of error take place, we can catch this error and display it inside our application. So console log error, and inside the try block here you need to first of all get the connection here. So we will simply await, call this get connection method here, and then we need to set the product.price, and here we just need to convert the price to a floating point number like this. And then we need to insert the record. So there is a method guys inside this MySQL, which is query. So here we will write a simple SQL query guys. In this case this will be an insert query. So we need to insert into the table name, which will be product in my case, and then we will set question mark here, and you need to put the actual product object here like this. And after this we will be setting the ID of the newly created project here. So this will be equal to result.insert ID. So what we are doing it inside these two lines guys, we are first of all writing the insert query, and we are inserting the newly created product, and then we are initializing the ID, which is product.id is equal to result.insert ID. So when you just write this, you also need to notify the user that the record is inserted successfully. So we will be showing a simple notification in the browser itself. So in order to initialize the notification, you initialize a new instance of it, and here you need to pass an object here. Inside the object you pass the title property. So this will be the name of the app, which is Electron MySQL. The second property is the body. So here we can simply say that new product saved successfully. So this is your actual notification, and now to actually show this notification we will call the show method. So this will actually show this notification to the user. And lastly, we also need to return this product from this function. So we will simply return the newly created product. That's it. So this is our create product method guys. We have initialized it. Now we need to export this method. So we will simply add it right here, create product. So we have defined this method guys, which is used to create a new product. So now we can simply go to index.html. So inside this index.html we will have a simple form. So for this we will be using Bootstrap, so you need to include the CDN for Bootstrap, and also we will be using animate.css. So just go to Google here, and if you don't know about animate.css, it's an animation based library. So just type here animate.css. So it is used to show some kind of animation inside the browser. So this is the CDN we are including it. And also you need to include the Bootstrap CDN as well. So after this, we just need to show a simple form to the user where they can insert the product. So right inside the body, we will have a simple main tag. So we will have a ID, which is container fluid. And inside this, we will have a row class. So all these classes are of Bootstrap. And then we have padding class, and then also we have myAuto. Inside this, we will be rendering out the product form. So we will have a simple form. We will be attaching a ID to the form, which will be product form, and we will be giving a Bootstrap class to it of card body. So inside this form we will have a simple form group class, and inside this we will have a simple input field here, which is of type. So here you can only write text. We will be giving an ID to it. So this will be name, and the placeholder will be simply here enter name of the product. So if you see guys, you don't need to restart your application, it will auto reload, and you will see this input field out there. Here you can enter your name of the product here. Similarly, we will have the other two input fields which will be there. So we also need to attach a Bootstrap class to it, which is equal to form control, just for the styling. And this field by default will be autofocus. So whenever you load the page, this will be automatically focused by default. And similarly, we will have the second field. This will be storing the price of the product. So right here, this will be a number field because the price can only be a number. It can be not be a string here. So you will see we have two fields out there. This is the name field. This is the price field. Here you can enter the price in the numbers, and then we will have a simple text area to write the description about the product. So this is not input field, this is a text area, because in description you need to write more things. So you can see you can also change the width as well of text area. So now we have three fields, and lastly we need to have a simple button here to submit the form. So there will be a simple button here which will be having the label of save. If you see the color of the button is blue color, you can now see this is save button. So as you click this button, the data should insert into the table automatically. So and after this form here is completed, now to show the data on the right hand side, we will have a simple div tag here. So here we will be showing all the products which are inserted into the table on the right hand side. So this will have an ID of products. And lastly, we will be making this app.js file, which we will be creating inside the root directory. So just include it right here. So inside this directory, just make this app.js file. And just inside your index.html file, we just need to copy paste this CSS code here. This is the custom.css code here. So simply after you include the Bootstrap, you just need to simply write here. You need to copy paste this code here. This is just 6 lines of CSS code here. So inside this, we are just removing the margin and the padding of the body, and we are targeting the products here by its ID here, and we are changing the height and the padding. So now inside app.js we just need to first of all get references of all the elements. So we also need to first of all get access to the remote module which is there inside Electron, and then we will be including this file which is main file. We need to require this file here which is present here, which is so we are including this main.js file which we have written right here. This is the actual file, the JavaScript file here. So after you include this, we just need to get references of all the elements. Specifically for now, we will be getting the reference to the form here. So we will use query selector here. And here we will be passing the ID. You can now see. So whatever ID that you have given inside the HTML file, same ID you need to pass here. And then we will be declaring an array which is empty by default. And now we will be defining a simple function here which will be able to insert a product inside the table. For doing that, we just need to create a function here which will be calling the actual function we have written inside main.js. This is the function we will call here, which is create product. So now to call this function, first of all we also need to get the reference to the products div here. So simply you can just declare this variable as products list. Again we can use document.querySelector, and here we can pass the ID that we have given, which is products. If you cross check here, you will see in the index.html, this is the ID we have given here, which is products. We are simply targeting this here. So after this, guys, we just need to insert the product here, which the user will be typing in the input field. So for doing this, we will be creating a function here. So for doing this, guys, we need to attach a add event listener to the form element. So this will be the code here. So let me just see. So basically, guys, you will now see we have got the reference of the product form here by its ID. So what we need to do is that we need to simply attach a add event listener. So whenever you submit this form that you have this here, you submit this form, click on the save button. We will be attaching is on submit event handler here. This will be a async function. So we need to wrap all this code inside try catch block here. So we need to wrap all this code inside the try catch block, and then we need to console log the error. So inside, first of all, guys, we need to prevent the auto submission of the form, and then we need to construct an object. Basically, this will be a product object. This will be an object. It will hold three properties: the name of the product, which will be coming through product name. So basically, you can now see inside index.html, for each input element we have assigned the ID. You will see name, price, and description. So we need to first of all get the references to this. So product name. So document.querySelector, product name. Sorry, name. Product price. Document.querySelector. Price, and also the lastly we will say product description, document.querySelector. So we have got references of all the elements, guys, which is name, price, description. So now we simply need to say product name, and we need to get the value, so we'll say dot value. This will get the actual value which the user has typed. After this, we will simply have the price as well, so product price dot value, and then we will have the description as well, so product description dot value. So after constructing this object, guys, we need to now make a simple post request to the backend server. So here we will simply say, we will first of all save this. So we will create a new object here, product, or save product, and inside this, as this is a async function, we can use the await keyword, and then we will use this method, guys, which is, you can see we are importing this main.js file right here inside this variable, and this needs to be coming, sorry guys, from .main, because there is two directories out there, source and UI. So this is present inside this main.js. We have created this method, create product. We are exporting this, so now we need to use this method inside app.js. So now to use this, we will simply call this method which is there, which is main.create product, and here we will pass the actual object, and then we will console log the saved product. You can also call this as saved, just call this as saved product. And now we also need to reset the values, so reset the form. So now to reset the form, guys, we will simply say product form. We will call a simple method here which will actually reset the values, reset. So basically it fires whenever user wants to reset a form. And then basically product name, again we need to focus on that field, so focus, that's it. That's all, guys. Basically, if you now see here, if you try to execute this application, and currently if you see my table is empty, if I show you the table, it is currently empty here. So if I show you the MySQL table, currently you will see it is an empty table, nothing is present right here. As I now put a product name, which is, let's suppose, Samsung phone, Samsung mobile, price, let's suppose $56. This is Samsung mobile phone, and if I click save here, and basically now if I refresh it, guys, let me see what is the error happening. So it is saying pass through is not supported. Let me refresh it. Once again start this application, so npm start. You will now see, if I write, click on, nothing is inserted. So let me just open the browser console, guys. So toggle developer tools, you can even, as you can see, guys, you can toggle the, you can see it is saying that require is not defined. So it is saying that require is not defined. So why this error is coming? Because, guys, I think I forgot to put this. So it is saying I think it, why it is coming here, let me see. Require is not defined. If you go to index.html, guys, I think what we need to do, let me change this to type to module, and so we are simply saying here we are not need to include this app.js. So inside app.js we are including the Electron module. So once again, if you refresh it, guys, and try to restart this application, again toggle the developer tools. So again it is saying require is not defined. So let me just see, guys. So require is not defined, Electron error. uh, As of version 5, the default for node integration changed from true to false. You can enable it when creating the browser window. As of version 5, for default for node integration has changed from true to false. Okay, I think we need to paste this value here. So whenever you are creating this window, guys, basically, as you can see inside our main.js, we are loading this window. We are creating this window, guys. You will see that basically we need to set this like this. Let me paste it here. Context isolation to false, node integration to true. So as you can see inside index.html, we are inside app.js. Uh, I think if you see, guys, inside our main.js, this is the file. So here you can see that, guys, we are defining this. We are defining here. You will see that create window, and inside index.js, basically we are doing this. So let me just refresh it now, and hopefully this should work here. Again, let me start npm start. So cannot read properties of undefined load file. So what it is telling, let me see. Let me remove this value and start from scratch. Npm start. So cannot read properties of undefined. The problem is occurring in main.js. Sorry guys, this is window, not main window. That's why. You can now see. Context isolation to false. Let me put this value and try to refresh it. So npm start, you can now see, if I see toggle developer tools, cannot read properties of undefined. Okay, now you can see it is working, but it is creating in the second line of code here. You can see that it is saying cannot read it. I think we have given the wrong path here inside your app.js. The file, if you see, is present. Let me just delete the source folder, guys, as I don't need this. Sorry. Just put it to false, and basically just create a basically UI folder, and inside this just sorry, this needs to be a folder. Just create a UI folder, and basically just here create your index.html file, and let me paste this code. I have deleted all the files in that folder. So right here, guys, basically this is the HTML file which is needed. Simply copy this source code here, paste it here. So you are including a app.js file as well here, and inside this file, so simply here copy this code. So up till now, if you see, basically we have we were writing this function, which was, so we were resetting the value. You can now see up till now we have written this function up till now. So this was not the way. I did not. We don't have this if else condition. So we were just created that product object. We were saving it. Let me format this like this. We were adding that event listener form event listener. So we don't need to write up. Just delete that. So as you can see that guys, we have the product list. We have got all the references, and you can now see we are including this dot main. So we are including this file here inside app.js. So now hopefully this should work here. And if you now refresh your application and so fail to load URL. So okay, we also need to change this inside our main.js file, guys. So no source directory is present, so we need to simply say here ui/index.html. So if you are live coding, guys, some errors can take place, so just forget me for that. Again, it is saying remote dot require. Let me add a product. And if I check the table, so why this error is taking place, I don't know. Cannot read properties of undefined reading require. If you see that, guys, we defined this inside our so you can see that this was present inside the source directory, all these files. Okay, I think now I know what problem is occurring right here. Let me just change the path, guys, so just wait. I think the path is creating the problem. If you go to this, so we will simply say here dot main. So this means that this file is present. Let me do like this and refresh it. Change this path to like this, guys. npm start once again. And once again toggle developer tools. अरे यार so let me just fix this, guys, really quickly here. So this is, you can now see, basically we need to move all these files, create a new directory called as source, just to follow my whole project. So just create this and move this to UI to this one. Also move all these files inside the source directory. So now you can see inside source directory we have UI, and inside this we have two files present right here. And now we are including this dot main file, which is present right here. Hopefully this time, guys, this application will work, because it is creating a lot of problem. Unable to find Electron app. Let me just see. Sorry, main file should be present inside your sorry, just make the source/index, just do it. So now your application, it is saying failed to load URL. Alright. This needs to be basically, if you see inside your main.js, this needs to be this path. This path is very much creating this problem, guys. So just go to main.js. So that's why I'm telling you guys, you need to follow the step-by-step instruction which is written inside the blog post. So now if you refresh it now, and now you can see, if I go to toggle developer tools, I don't know guys what problem is occurring right here. I don't know, because let me just use the previous project. If you see, let me use this project instead. I don't want to waste your precious time. So what I will do is that I will simply stop this server and let me use this project instead. So I will simply open this file here inside the terminal here. So this is the file. Let me just delete all the files which we have created up till now. Let me delete these files, and up till now we have created you can see that guys, up till now we have created, up till we were saving the product by attaching this event listener of submit. So we have this products array and we have got all the references of all the IDs. Up till now we have written the index.html file, we have written this database.js file. This is index.js we have already written, and this is our main.js. Up till now we have written only the create product function. Let me delete all these functions, rest of the functions, and you can now see. So now if I run this application, npm start. So that's the thing guys, if you are doing live programming, if any sort of error take place, then it will not go away. You can now see nothing is present right here. So you can see that. And now if you basically enter the product price, click save, you will now see it will give you this nice little notification that your new product saved successfully. And if you now refresh your database, you will see one entry is added here, which is name, description, price. You will now see name, description, price has successfully been added. If you try to enter a second product, click on save, another product is inserted. You will now see, if you refresh here, second product is inserted. So in this case guys, you can create as many products as you want using your Electron application. So now we need to basically display all these newly created products on the right hand side. So for displaying it, basically we will be having this, if you go to your app.js file, so right here we will create a new function guys, which will be responsible for fetching all the functions, fetching all the products which are available. So just go to this file guys. So right here we will create a new method which is called as get products. So this function will be responsible for getting all the products guys. This will again be a async function, and for this guys we will first of all need to get the connection. We will be awaiting get connection method, we'll call this, and then we will be fetching all the products by using con.query. We will write a simple select query guys from here, select star from the table name, and we need to order it by descending order. You can even order it by ascending order as well. So we need to in the descending order like this. So we can call this as DESC. It is called descending. Now we need to simply return the results, guys. So basically this will hold all the products. We need to now export this method, get products. So we are simply exporting this. So now we need to include this method. So right here, whenever we are created this product, we can simply call this method, which is main dot. We can call this method here, guys. We have called this as get products. You can now see, if you just now go to it, so basically whenever you are creating this, so we can simply call this method, which is get products. So now we need to create this method, guys. So right here, basically whenever we load this application for the very first time, this function will automatically execute, which is called as init function. You can call this anything, but I will call this as init. So we need to define this function, guys. This will be a simple async function, and inside this function we will be calling another function which will be getting products. So get products is not this function. Let me just remove this. So we'll define our own custom function, which is get products. And inside this function, guys, this will be an async function. So here we will be getting the products. As you can see, products is an empty array, but we will be getting this. We will use await main dot get products. We will call this, so it will retrieve all the products from the table and equal to this products array. And then we will call another method, guys, which will render the products on the DOM. So we will pass the products array to this. So now we just need to make this function which will actually add this to the DOM. This will be function render products. It will take the actual products and display it in the browser. So we will simply first of all say product list inner.html is empty by default. So for each product, guys, products, we will use the for each loop. You can simply say products. For each product, we will be looping through. And inside this, we will simply say here product list dot inner HTML, and this will be equal to a backtick symbol. So here you can write multiple lines of JavaScript code here. So you can simply say here plus is equal to, it will append it. So here we will be describing our data, guys. So we will have a div tag. We will be attaching these bootstrap classes, which is card body, and my2, which is padding, and we will also use some animated classes as well, fade in, leave. So these are all classes, guys, which is brought to you by basically animate.css. So fade in left, so just do it. And after this, guys, basically inside your h4 heading, we will be displaying the product name, and this will be product name. And basically inside the paragraph, we need to define the actual price as well. So product price. You can even first of all show the description as well, totally up to you. And then inside our h3 tag, we will display the price of the product. So we will simply say here product.price. That's it. And then, guys, we will have two buttons out there basically to actually edit and delete the product. So basically we have the delete and the edit button. So we are giving the bootstrap classes to it. So whenever we click this button, guys, we are passing the ID. So we can simply replace here product. So we will be deleting products and updating products using their ID, which is a primary key. So we are simply passing these IDs to these respective functions. We will define it later on. So if you just refresh it now, your application, guys, so if you just click on save, for this we need to first of all reload the application. Whenever you make changes inside your JavaScript code, you need to restart the server. So as you can see inside your toggle, let me see what is the error taking place. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check your manual that correspond to your MariaDBS server. I think I have made a mistake here. Inside your app.js, inside this main.js, select star from product, and we need to order it by, if you see basically what is, oh sorry, we need to provide the parameter, guys. So this time we need to provide the ID. This is a column name, so we forgot to provide that. So just add this here, and now if you refresh it, if you once again start your application here, so now you can see that automatically whenever you load your application, all the previous products which were there already in the table is render out, and these two buttons are also there, delete and edit. This is the title, this is a description, this is the price of the product. And if you add a new product here, let me provide the price to be this one, description this one. So new product is added. You will see that the newly created product comes first because we are rendering out the latest product is shown first. You will now see. So slight animation is also there. You can now see slight fading animation from the left. So now we need to work these methods. So whenever I click the delete method, I need to delete the product and remove it from here. So for doing this, we need to first of all define this method here, which is inside our main.js. So for deleting a product, it's very easy. Basically, if you check here inside the so all these methods are there, which is, let me see, yeah, this is a method here. So which is delete product, guys. Basically this function is taking the ID of the product that you want to delete. ID, as you all know, it's unique, it's a primary key. So first of all we are getting the connection, and then we are writing this simple SQL query which is delete from the table name where ID is equal to the past ID. Then we are returning the actual array which doesn't contain this record. We have removed it using the SQL query, and now we simply need to export this method. So we will say delete product. So now inside your app.js we need to basically write this function which is delete product right here. We will take the ID, so inside your delete product, guys, basically here after taking the ID we will be making a, first of all just ask the user in by the confirm box that are you sure you want to delete this product. We will just ask a question to the user, and then we will check for the response. If they really want to delete, this will return true. So if they want to delete, we will simply delete it. We will await main dot delete product and we will pass the ID, and then we will simply refresh the table, get products. So this needs to be an async function, so just add this. And once again, if you click delete, you will see it will ask the question, are you sure you want to delete the product? I will say yes. You will now see why it is not deleting it. Let me see. A main.delete product is not a function. If you see, we are basically delete product. I think for this we need to restart this application. So just restart restart this application, click on delete, and now you can see it is perfectly working. So if you make any sort of changes to the JavaScript code, you need to restart your server. So as you can see, if I click delete, this records have been deleted, and if I cross check, if I go to the table, no records will be present right here. You can create a record, delete a record. It is perfectly working here from Electron desktop application. Now the only operation is remaining, guys, which is the edit operation. So if you click the edit button, we need to update the details. So this is a little bit tricky. So first of all, we need to define this function inside main.js. So here this function will be pretty simple, which update product. Basically this will again be a arrow function. This will be taking the ID as an argument, and also it will take the actual product data, the updated product data that you need to update. First of all, we will have the connection object await get connection, and then we will simply update the user. We'll call this a simple query here, which is update the table name, and simply here we will use the set statement question mark where id is equal to question mark, and then we will pass these two is inside an array, which is the actual id and the product. So it just needs to be passed in a reverse order, product id. So after this, guys, we just need to simply I think we are writing it in the wrong file. This needs to be here we need to write it. So just go to main.js and yeah, just paste it here. So we just need to now export this method here, which is update product. And now inside your app.js, guys, we need to write this function, which is edit product. For this edit product, guys, it is a little bit trickier out there. We need to basically declare some boolean variable here, which is called as editing status. Currently this will be false by default whenever you load the application, and you do need to store the product ID, whichever product that you are editing. And here what we will do right here, so basically we do need to define this function, which is, you can see we have defined this, which is edit product. We need to write this function. So edit product, and here this will be an async function. The ID will be passed here. And first of all, guys, we will get the actual product information based upon its ID. We will call a function which we need to define, guys, inside main.js. So we have, this is the one function we missed. So this will be get product by the ID. So this function, basically again we will be receiving an ID here as an argument. So based upon the ID, guys, we need to return the product information. So what we can simply do here, first of all, we need to connect to the database. So await get connection, and then we need to simply return the information. So you will simply say query, and simply here we will simply select all the information from the product where the ID is equal to the past ID. So ID is equal to question mark, and then we need to pass the actual ID. That's it. So we just need to return this result. That's it. And now we also need to get product by ID. Simply export this. So now we can simply include this get product by ID. We can pass the ID right here. So this will get the actual product information that you are editing right here. So we can first of all just initialize it, the form values to that. So product name dot value will be equal to product dot name, and product dot description value will be equal to product dot description, and product dot product price dot value will be equal to product dot price. That's it. So we are just loading all the values automatically inside the input field. So we will make the editing status to true, guys, right here, and also the edit product ID will be equal to the actual ID. That's it. So as you just click this button, guys, you will see that edit product. We will make this. So what will happen right here, basically if you click the edit button, if you now let me see what is, so as you have make changes to the JavaScript code, you do need to restart it. So now what will happen if you click the edit button, all the basically it is coming out to be undefined. Let me check why it is coming out to be undefined. Product by ID. Oh sorry, we need to return only that result. So we don't need to result whole object. So here you just need to return only the first result, so 0. So now if you reload your application, guys, what will happen right here, if you click the edit button, all the details will be pre-filled right here. This is the name, price, description, all it is already there. Now you can easily make the changes and click on save. As you can see, if I click save, it is creating the product. But now we need to detect whether the user is going to update the product or create the product based upon this Boolean parameter we have created inside our app.js, which is editing status. So based upon that, we will have a simple if condition. So inside our create product. So whenever we are submitting the form, basically we will simply check its value, editing status. So basically if it sets to true, in that case, here basically if you see inside our create, so if it is set to true, basically we will product updated, we will call the main.update product method. We will pass the product ID, which is edit product ID. We have stored this ID here. You will now see we have stored this ID, and we are passing the actual product that needs to be updated. So in the else block, basically if this value is set to be false, in that case we do need to basically create the product. In that case we can simply copy paste this value right here, and right here also again you can make your editing status to false. Sorry, not here but here. So whenever you are done updating the product, you can make your editing status to be false once again, and again editing product ID to be equal to nothing. That's it. So that's all, guys, we need to do right here inside this function. So if you now refresh your application, try to restart it. So now you can perform all the 4 operations. You can create a new product. You can now see You can click on delete. You can also delete the products. You can even edit a product here, change that basically. What happened here? Let me see. I can't change the values. So it returns an object here. You will see name price is given here. So now you can see as I change the value here to any value I can change, click on save. You can see the details have been updated. You can see in the database. So this is also reflected back in the database as well. So this is the CRUD kind of an application we have developed, guys, inside your Electron desktop framework, inside HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in Node.js. I think you should definitely take a look upon this application. Electron is a very good framework for building desktop applications. So definitely hit the like button, subscribe the channel, and I will be seeing you in the next video.